Recording in progress.
Hello, I hope you're well wherever you are. My name is Judith Komboka, your convener for the study challenge of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act of 2015 with revisions of 2022. In this video, I want us to look at part 15 of the Act, which is the administrative review of procurement and disposal proceedings. So we start by looking at section 167, which is about request for review. So an aggrieved party or tenderer or candidate who feels like they're going to lose unfairly because the process has not been handled well or in a fair manner can raise a complaint, can request for a review with the review board. And they must do this within 14 days after the notification of the successful bidder and notification of those who are not successful. So they have 14 days, which is also called the window period, within which they can raise a request for review, within which they can raise a complaint. So when they do so, they raise this complaint or this request for review in writing, and they also pay a refundable deposit of not less than 10% of the cost of the contract. This is for your information. With the revisions that came in 2022, agricultural firms were exempted from this requirement of paying a deposit. So then, this for noting also is that the review is heard and determined in an open forum, except when we are talking about matters of security concern. Under section 168, still on section 167, part 4, the Act has highlighted matters which are not subject to this procurement review. And they include so the following matters shall not be subject to the review of procurement proceedings. That is according to section 167, part 4. The choice of a procurement method, a termination of a procurement or asset disposal proceedings in accordance with section 3 of this Act, where a contract is signed in accordance with section 135 of this Act. So you can further also read the regulations so that you get a thorough understanding of the same. So section 168 talks about notification by the secretary of the review board. So once the aggrieved party submits a request for review, the secretary of the review board notifies the procuring entity that they are in receipt of a complaint, and they request for suspension of any procurement proceedings in relation to that procurement so that the review is done. So that is under section 168. You can also read regulation 205 for further details. And then under section 169, there are circumstances under which the review board can reject requests. And under section 169, we are told if the required fee of not less than 10% has not been paid, then the authority will reject that. Remember, I said agricultural firms are exempted from the payment of that fee. So who are the parties that are involved or who are required to be part of this review? They include the person who requested the review, the accounting officer of the procuring entity in question, the tenderer who was notified as successful by the PE, and such other persons as the review board may determine. Section 171 talks about when the review should be completed. So it should be completed within 21 days after requesting the request to review. So we move to another section. Section 122 talks of dismissal of appeals. The review board may dismiss with costs a request if it's of the opinion that the request was frivolous, meaning malicious, equivalent to being malicious. In such a case, the non-refundable fee is not refunded to the person who requested for the review. So what are the powers of the board after they've gone through the proceeding, the procurement proceeding or the disposal proceeding? What are their powers? What are some of the decisions that they can make? Under Section 173 and Regulation 221, you're guided that they may do one or more of the following. They may annul anything the accounting officer of the PE had done in the procurement proceeding, including annulling the procurement and the disposal disposal proceeding in their entirety. So they nullify everything. They can give direction to the accounting officer of the PE with respect to anything to be done or to be redone. They can substitute the decision of the review board of any decision, substitute the decision of the review board for any decision the accounting officer of the PE in procurement proceedings. They may order the payment of costs as between parties to the review board in accordance with the scale as prescribed. They may order termination of the procurement process and commencement of a new procurement process. So those are the powers that are within the review board, the possible outcomes out of a review. Then under Section 175, we are told that the person who is aggrieved, if they are not satisfied with the decision that has been made by the review board, they can appeal that. They can appeal to the High Court within 14 days. 14 days from the day when the review board made their decision. And if they are not still satisfied, they can proceed to the Court of Appeal. So read more of that under Section 175 and also Section 175 and Section 175 Part 4. So basically, that's all about the Administrative Review Board, review of procurement and disposal proceedings. I hope you've learned something. And one thing of noting is that whenever you have been notified, you now as a procurement expert or specialist or head of procurement, if you're notified of a request for review, as long as you've done your work well, you don't have to be afraid. Ensure that you do proper record keeping, ensure that you have proper approvals while you're carrying out your procurement processes. That way, even when someone submits a request for review to the review board, you don't have to be worried about it because you did your work in a very straightforward manner and it is well documented. So as long as you're able to provide the evidence, it's not something that should worry you. So that's the end of this video. I hope to see you in the next video. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please proceed and do so. And also hit that notification bell so that whenever there's a new video that has been uploaded, you're able to know and go check it out. Thank you. See you.